I don't know if you saw the other little incident today. Was Luke Rowe and Tony Martin had a bit of a brain fart.
Yeah. I saw that on slow motion on the Eurosport player we were watching in the van, and I thought, that looks a bit dodgy. And they showed it again, and it did look, from what I saw, that Tony Martin was basically trying to almost take out Luke Rowe.
I can't quite work out why. He gets quite angry, Tony. He's a lovely guy, but I'm not too sure what led to that, in that moment, really. And Brian Smith was quite concerned that maybe the jury would look at that, and he may pay for that in terms of coming out the race. I mean,
we're recording this about an hour after the finish, hour and a half after the finish, and Rob Hatch just texted to say that they are looking at the VAR. The committee are looking at it. But what I did see, when we were waiting for Luke Rowe to have a bit of a natter with him, and he did need to nip off for doping control, so he couldn't speak, although he did offer when he got back. We didn't manage to speak to him, but he was chatting quite amicably with Martin as they crossed the line. He had his arm across. It looked as if whatever had happened, they'd sorted it out.
Of course, yeah.
But it happens, doesn't it? It does happen in bike racing. There's a little bit of needle sometimes.
With this late into the race, everyone's quite tired now, aren't they? It was a long, hot day, and I think from what I saw, Lotto Jumbo were trying to control things a little bit, and maybe Luke was just sort of getting in the way a bit, or there was a misunderstanding. Well, quite often it is just a misunderstanding, really.
Well, just some news just in, although when you listen to this it'll be old news, but it's quite interesting because it's live and dynamic in our mini pod. Apparently Rowe is now outside the van with Portal. Jumbo were in them before them. Ineos have been called in twice. So quite clearly, and what we mean by van, at the finish there's
this is the
Commissaire's van basically, and they have like the VAR, the virtual referee. They can basically have access to all the camera angles, and the jury will sit. They generally invite the team managers in to have a look at the footage and come to a decision. So that's, we haven't heard any other news, but that's ongoing because
that's hot news.
Was a bit obvious, wasn't it? Yes.
That's hot news. I think it's how little the incident, maybe they consider the incident. I think what you've got to remember is the amount of people that are watching this around the world. And I think it's that really that I think as a brand, the Tour de France, they don't want that on the TV. I think that's kind of more what is being brought into disrepute. Really,
No, I think you're right, and also it can't be condoned as well because it did look
absolutely.
Even if they've kissed and made up at the end, that's all fine. But like you said, the young kids watching. These professionals are people who. They're role models, and they've, like you said,
and the nature of what Tony was trying to do, he was trying to knock Luke Rowe off. I mean, that was kind of, and had he succeeded, I mean, he's a valuable ally to G there going forward. And funnily enough, on the right-hand side of the screen as we were watching it, you had G and Kruijswijk both looking over at these two. They're both their teammates, thinking, "What the hell are you doing?" Yeah, I mean, it always is a bit dumbfounding to the people around while that's going on, isn't it?
Yeah, there might have been a little bit building up beforehand, but it's certainly not the way to act. Hopefully, that will be resolved anyway.